The Lantern of Starlight. In the village of Windwhistle, where the wind always seemed to hum with whispers of ancient secrets, there was a legend of a magical lantern. It was said that the Lantern of Starlight could be found in the highest tower of the forgotten lighthouse, a place hidden away by the vast sea and the passing winds. The lantern had the power to light up the darkest night, not with fire, but with the glow of the stars themselves. Ellie, a young girl with an adventurous spirit, had heard the story from her grandmother countless times. Her grandmother often spoke of the lantern with a wistful smile, saying that it had been lost long ago, but it still called out to those who had the heart to search for it. One evening, as Ellie sat by the window looking out over the sea, the wind carried a soft voice, like a whisper, saying her name. It was as if the wind itself was beckoning her to follow. With her heart pounding with excitement, Ellie knew that the time had come. She had to find the Lantern of Starlight. The very next day she set out toward the cliffs, where the old lighthouse stood, its silhouette barely visible against the morning sky. The lighthouse had been abandoned for years, but the stories of its magic still lingered in the hearts of the villagers. The path was steep and winding, but Ellie's determination was stronger than any obstacle in her way. As she reached the foot of the lighthouse, Ellie noticed the heavy wooden door that had once been bright with paint, but was now weathered and cracked. With a deep breath, she pushed it open. The interior was dark, except for the faint glow of sunlight seeping through the cracked windows. A spiral staircase wound upwards, leading to the very top of the lighthouse, where the lantern was said to rest. The climb was long, the air thick with dust and the scent of salt water. But Ellie didn't stop. She could feel the lantern calling to her, guiding her toward the light. As she reached the top, she stepped into a small room, its walls lined with ancient maps and weathered books, and there, in the center of the room, sat the Lantern of Starlight. The lantern was unlike anything Ellie had ever seen. It shimmered with a soft, silvery glow, but when she touched it, it felt cool to the touch, as though it were made of stardust itself. The stars seemed to dance inside it, twinkling with an ethereal light that filled the room with a peaceful radiance. Ellie gazed at the lantern in awe. It was beautiful, but there was something else about it, something deeper. It wasn't just a source of light, it held a secret. With trembling hands she lifted the lantern, and as she did, the wind howled through the cracks in the lighthouse. The light of the lantern grew brighter, and in that moment Ellie realized that the lantern wasn't just lighting the room, it was lighting the sky. The stars outside began to shift, their glow intensifying as the lantern called to them. Ellie watched in wonder as the stars above twinkled more brightly, as if they were answering the call of the lantern. The wind grew stronger, and the lighthouse seemed to come alive with the hum of the stars themselves. Then, the lantern spoke in a voice as soft as the breeze. "You have found me, Ellie. The stars have whispered your name. You have the heart to carry the light and the courage to share it." Ellie's eyes widened in awe. What does it mean? What is the lantern's magic? The voice of the lantern filled her heart with warmth. "I am the light of the stars, and I guide those who seek the way. The magic of the Lantern of Starlight is not just to light the dark, but to show the path to those who are lost, to bring hope to the hopeless, and to remind the world that even in the darkest night, the stars are always there." Ellie felt a surge of purpose. She realized that the lantern wasn't just for her, it was for everyone. She could carry its light and share its magic with the world. With a steady hand, she placed the lantern on her heart, and its light seemed to pulse, as if alive. wind outside calmed, and the stars settled into their familiar places in the sky. But Ellie knew that she was no longer just a girl in a village by the sea. She was the keeper of the Lantern of Starlight, and its light would guide her for the rest of her life. Ellie made her way down the lighthouse, carrying the lantern with her, its light gently glowing as the stars danced above. She returned to the village, and as she walked through the streets, people looked up in wonder. The light of the lantern shone brightly, filling the night with warmth and hope. From that night on, the Lantern of Starlight was no longer a forgotten legend. It became a symbol of hope, a reminder that the light of the stars could always be found, no matter how dark the world may seem. And so, Ellie's journey began, not just as the keeper of the lantern, but as a guide for those who needed light in the darkness, sharing the magic of the Lantern of Starlight with everyone she met. The end.